Okay. I'm just taking a moment now, focusing our awareness on the body and sitting or lying in whatever way feels the most comfortable for you. And it's perfectly fine to keep the eyes open during this practice, but if you'd like to close them over, close them over. Sometimes it helps to turn off the outside when we want to go inward. So you can experiment with that. And then let's take our focus to all the points of contact. So maybe if you're sitting, you might notice the points of contact between your feet and the floor, or a cushion if your feet are on something. And if you're lying down, maybe you can sense the whole body lying, the heels, the weight of the legs, the pelvis, perhaps even sensing those individual vertebrae lined up in the spinal column, the backs of the shoulders, the back of the head. Just feeling the body as it is in this moment. And noticing if any sensations are coming from the body. Sometimes we might notice tightness or tenderness or a little niggle here or there, but we always have a choice. So we can choose to move mindfully, or we can choose to investigate maybe whatever it is that's causing us discomfort. Move a little closer to it if that feels okay to you. And then again, deciding if it might make more sense to change your position. And then let's turn the focus of awareness now to the breath. And feeling the breath, maybe noticing how the breath moves the body. Sensing the gentle rise and fall in the belly. Or maybe noticing the expansion of the rib cage. Noticing that wave-like motion, the way that the breath rolls in and rolls back out again. Not needing to fix it or change it. Just noticing it as it is. And we might also notice that the mind will wander many, many times during this practice. And that's not a problem at all. So when we notice that we've been pulled away by thought or story or some sensation coming from the body, we can just simply become aware that the mind has wandered and turn the focus back to your anchor, whether that's the feeling of the body connected to whatever surface that you're on, or the feeling of the breath. Just this breath. So now when you're ready, we'll begin to scan through the body and allowing your awareness to come down through the left leg and the ankle and all the way out to the toes of the left foot. Noticing what's here when you get here. So maybe there's a sensation of throbbing or tingling or heat or coolness. Or perhaps there's no sensation at all. Well, let's hop our awareness over now to the little toe. And then sensing all the toes in between. We can expand our awareness now to include the ball of the foot, the instep, and the heel. Just investigating if any sensations are coming from this part of the foot now. Including the top of the foot and the left ankle. Sensing deep inside the muscles and the joint here. Almost breathing with the ankle, if that makes sense to you. And now we'll move our awareness up to the lower part of the left leg. And noticing the shin bone. The calf muscles. Maybe sensing the weight of the calf muscles resting on the surface that you're lying on. And then moving up to the left knee. Noticing the kneecap. The sides of the knee. The back of the knee. Sensing deep inside the joint now and noticing if there are any sensations here. And we can continue moving up the left leg and noticing the region between the knee and the hip. Sensing your thigh muscles. Resting on this long bone that makes the connection between the knee and the hip. And we may notice tingling here or throbbing or the gentle pressure of your seat or the position that you're lying in. Or maybe there's nothing here, and that's okay too. And we're going to shift our focus now over to the right side of the body and travel down the right leg through the ankle all the way out to the foot. And again, we'll begin with the toes here. So noticing your big toe. And your little toe. And all the toes in between. Maybe even sensing into the spaces in between the toes or the toenails. Now expanding our awareness to take in the ball of the foot, the instep and the heel. Noticing now the top of the foot and the right ankle. Exploring deep inside the joint now. And then we'll continue to move our awareness up the right leg and noticing the lower half of the right leg. And again, we might sense the shin bone at the front of the leg or the calf muscles at the back. Noticing the right knee, the kneecap, the sides of the knees, the back of the knee. Sensing deep inside the knee. Investigating, almost as if you were shining a bright light into a dark corner. And just exploring what's here, if anything. Sensing the top of the right thigh now. And this long bone, maybe sensing the length of the bone or the weight of the bone. And these big muscles that rest heavy on top. Again, tuning into any sensations coming from this region of the body. All the while supported by the breath in the background. And when the mind wanders, we can just remind ourselves that this is part of the practice, this gentle turning the focus back over and over again, as much as is necessary. Just becoming aware when we find ourselves distracted and coming back to whatever part of the body that we're currently focused on. So let's move our awareness now to the pelvis and noticing the hip bones on either side. Sensing the pubic bones. And at the back of the pelvis, noticing the sacrum, that last little set of bones at the base of the spine. And if you're lying down, you may sense the weight of the sacrum on the bed or the floor. Or perhaps if you're sitting, you can feel the support coming from the sacrum as it rests against the chair. Maybe noticing the way that the spine rises up out of the pelvis, supported by the pelvis. And if it's comfortable for you, expanding your awareness around the sacrum to include the whole region of the lower back, a place where many of us carry tension. So we may notice tension here or bundles of tension. And sometimes we may notice judgments in this region. So again, just becoming aware of any thoughts or feelings coming up around the lower back or any sensations coming from the body. And if you're sensing tension, maybe see, can you breathe into the tension? Seeing if it wants to leave on an exhale. Let's bring our focus back around now to the front of the body and sensing the gentle movement of the belly with the breath, the sensation of rising and falling, expansion and contraction. And as we continue upwards in the body, we can notice the region of the solar plexus right at the center of the body, just beneath the ribs. And perhaps you can sense the breath here moving the ribs. Again, feeling that gentle expansion with the in-breath and the soft contraction of the out-breath. Perhaps even sensing the beating of the heart as it pumps freshly oxygenated blood throughout your entire body. And now maybe we can take in the whole rib cage and noticing the ribs at the back of the body. Again, maybe gently moving with breath, expanding into the surface that you're lying on or the chair that you're sitting in. Imagining the individual vertebrae stacked up in the spinal column. And then noticing the whole region of the upper back. Another area where many of us carry tension. So again, we can explore this region and possibly breathe into areas of tension. Softening with an exhale. Noticing the shoulders now. And we'll do both arms together. So let's travel from the shoulders down through to the hands and all the way out to the tips of the fingers. You might notice tingling or pulsing or throbbing or heat or coolness. There may even be an absence of sensation. And we can sense the palms of the hands now and the backs of the hands. Maybe noticing if there's contact between the hands and the thighs, or the hands and your bed or your floor. And as we continue working our way upwards, noticing this delicate system of bones and tendons. The wrist now. You may even sense the pulse in the wrist. And then including the whole of the lower half of the arms. And noticing any sensations coming from this part of the body. Perhaps sensing the hinge joint of the elbow. And noticing the upper arms. And this long bone that makes the connection between the elbows and the shoulders. Turning your focus to the neck, and the surface of the neck, the skin, And maybe deep inside the neck, sensing the throat and the air coming up and down the back of the throat. Maybe there are sensations of burning or moisture or dryness. And we can notice the jaw just beneath the ears at the hinge joint, tracing it down towards the region just beneath the mouth. And we'll notice the lips, the nose, the cheeks. And as we continue exploring the face, we can sense the eye sockets, the eyeballs, the eyebrows, maybe even that space just between the eyebrows, the forehead and the temples, the whole mask of the face, totally at rest now, not needing to give or receive information or express any emotion, or just being and breathing. And now traveling upwards towards the crown of the head, perhaps even sensing the hair follicles here, or air meeting skin. And if it feels comfortable for you, imagining that there's an opening here that functions a bit like a blowhole in a whale. And imagining that you could take a breath in through this opening, filling the head and the arms and the torso and the pelvis and the legs with air. And then breathing out as if you could breathe out through the soles of the feet. And then taking the next breath in as if through the soles of the feet. Filling the legs and the pelvis and the torso and the arms and the head. And breathing out as if through the crown of the head. Taking the next breath in as if through the crown of the head. And filling the whole body with air. And breathing out as if through the soles of the feet. Just playing with this way of breathing, if it feels comfortable to you. And if you'd rather, you can return to that effortless, regular breath. So staying with the full body breathing if that works for you, or returning to the gentle, effortless breath if that feels better. And we'll allow the breath to return to its natural state. And again, maybe taking in the whole body from head to toe now. This poem is called Important by Helen Luke. We hurry through the so-called boring things in order to attend to that which we deem more important or interesting. Perhaps the final freedom will be a recognition that everything in every moment is essential and that nothing at all is important. We hurry through the so-called boring things in order to attend to that which we deem more important, interesting. Perhaps the final freedom will be a recognition that everything in every moment is essential and that nothing at all is important. And in your own time, in your own way, allowing your focus to return to the group at the sound of the bell.